and welcome. My name is Rashim Mogha and I'm your host for this Empowered Women of the World podcast. This podcast is for you. It is for me and it is for all women who want to take charge of their career and happiness. In this weekly podcast, we'll talk about technology, we'll talk about leadership, and we will talk about mindfulness. We'll talk about how you can discover, visualize, and actualize your success, whatever that means to you. We will also talk about our common opponent, the conscious and unconscious bias which we deal with on a daily basis. And we'll share ways to navigate work politics. At the end of each podcast, I'll share with you a tip or a resource that you can use to be successful. It's going to be a fun ride, so hop on and join me on this journey every week. And today, I'm so excited to welcome Fawad Khan on the show. Fawad is an enterprise digital transformation and cloud computing influencer. He's also an adjunct faculty member at the University of Washington, where he teaches digital transformation, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, and other emerging technologies. Fawad is also an author of Enterprise Digital Transformation, which is available on Amazon. Welcome, Fawad.
Thank you, Resham. First of all, I'm really excited to be on your podcast, and I want to thank you for the opportunity. I know you and I have connected on LinkedIn and Twitter, and I'm always amazed by your leadership and what you provide for all the women in the world. So thank you for having me over.
That's very nice. Thank you so much, Fawad. So, Fawad, we've been hearing about digital transformation for years now, right? But the reality is that the concept of digital transformation and the fact that digital transformation means different things to different people. How would you define digital transformation?
Yeah, this is a great question, by the way, Resham. And the digital transformation, if you didn't know what was behind it, you would think is just using the latest and the greatest and the bleeding edge technology, digital technology. But it is not really about just using the digital technology. To me, digital transformation is using the new emerging digital technologies to transform your business, to go and make changes, operational changes in your business, so your business can deliver value to its customers and transforming your products and services and the experiences you have. So at the end of the day, digital transformation would be all about you rethinking how you're doing your business and how you're going to change your products, your services, your experiences, and transform your business model to live in this new digital world that you have.
Yeah, and then when companies really start thinking about embarking the journey onto the journey to digital transformation, it actually affects all employees and not just the IT teams. That's a popular misconception, like digital transformation over, okay, IT is responsible for that. Let's dive deep into that a little bit.
Great question, by the way. And this is such a key question. One of the things that you would think that, hey, digital technology is all about learning about the new technology and how you're going to go and transform the way you do things. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Learn how to use the technology and then go use it. But there's much more under the covers to that, and it affects every part of the organization, because part of what digital transformation is, as I described in the intro, is it's about changing your business model. To survive in today's competitive landscape, you need to look at how the digital technology is going to help you become competitive and transform your operations and go and rethink your products and services and experiences. So one of the things that you will have to do if you are embarking on this journey is to consider the culture of your company. There is a huge shift in culture that will have to happen in some of the companies that want to use digital technologies. And when I talk about culture, I want to dive deeper into some aspect of culture, and the biggest is collaboration. How the different units within an organization work with each other. How you want to make sure if you're going to build something, you're going to transform your business or go change your business models, you will probably end up working with different units in your organization, and you want to make sure there's a collaborative culture within your organization where you can work with other people and other people in your different units in your organization. And also, there is that fear factor along with culture of collaboration. There is that fear factor people have, and this is very common as us as humans, is like, hey, oh, digital technology is coming in, it's going to go ahead and it's going to take my job away. That's one of the most common things along with collaboration that comes into play, because people think if we are bringing digital technologies, it's going to replace me. That is not necessarily true. Digital technology is going to go ahead and actually end up in most of the cases creating more jobs and opportunities, and you will also have to go and rescale and retrain part of your workforce to work with this technology. So there's more opportunity hidden behind digital technologies rather than layoffs and furloughs. Another thing when we talk about digital technology, sure, IT departments is responsible for bringing in or recommending the digital technology, but the culture is one aspect. The second part is all around innovation and experimentation. You want to be in a rhythm where you are innovating and you're bringing in products and services for your customers. You're trying out new things. You're building a MVP, like a minimal viable product, and taking it to your customers. And that's where I want to differentiate between large enterprises versus startups. Large enterprises typically take a lot of time to come up with a product versus startups, which can easily go and use some technology and come up with an MVP and give it to their customers. So just to sum it up, changes in culture, collaboration, experimentation, and innovation is important. And the third aspect for me is agility. How quickly can you go and do something and build an experience and a product? And that goes with innovation and experimentation too. So large enterprises typically take time to come up with a product service. Startups, they can quickly go whip up something, use the cloud, use the cloud services, and use the compute and the infrastructure, and come up with a minimal viable product that they can have their customers use. So those were the key things I would call out. Just to summarize for you, it is about the organization culture working together to evolve your business models. It's about innovation and experimentation, and it is also about agility in your organization. And then, there are other factors that I can also talk about, like you need to use emerging technologies and use cloud and all that. But those are some of the things I want to call out here.
Yeah, and that's just so true, because when I talk to business leaders, I always emphasize on the fact that digital transformation is not just about technology. It's about people, process, and technology, and people play the most important part in it. And also the fact that it's actually, it's really not just IT's responsibility. It's almost like the shared responsibility model, where all teams need to come together to make the digital transformation successful. And culture plays a big part in it.
Absolutely. Culture is so key. And I'll give you an example of Microsoft here. We had a very different culture when Mr. Steve Ballmer was our CEO. Microsoft was called the dinosaur. It took so much time to turn around and cater to what the customers needed. But now everything has changed under Satya Nadella, where we have this customer-centric culture within the company, where we can go, we can build something real quick, we can innovate, we can experiment, we can take it out to our customers, test it out, bring it back, and keep iterating till we get to that perfect product or service that our customers like and love to use day in, day out.
Yeah, and with Satya, I think what also happened is that the whole organization transformed into this empathetic unit that was always thinking about how to make a difference in the world, how to put humanity first, and that has actually changed how Microsoft as a brand is perceived today versus what it was perceived, say, 10 years ago.
Absolutely. So I do want to add two things to that, Resham. One is humility, and other is a culture of collaboration, not even internally. So humility, Satya is a very different kind of leader that we have, a very humble and has humility that really works and does wonders. And that is also showing within many parts of Microsoft, and it brings in that culture of collaboration. And also, when we talk about collaboration, it's not only collaboration within Microsoft and different units within Microsoft, but it is also collaboration with other vendors outside of Microsoft. So one of the things is how Microsoft has gone out and embraced open source. That was a big thing for us within Microsoft. So we have embraced open source. We are building open source solution. As an example, if you go to Azure, you will see there, if you go to Azure Marketplace rather, you will see a lot of different solutions, open source solutions that are available out there from different open source vendors that can be used with Azure Cloud.
And if you start looking at it, that whole digital transformation that happened in Microsoft just allowed us to put together solutions that solved real life problems, right? You started thinking about people differently, and you started thinking about solutions differently.
Absolutely. That it definitely does that. You build solutions that the customers want. It's not about what an engineering team within your organization thinks what customer wants. And that is one thing about innovation and experimentation. It is an iterative process where you build a minimal viable product, you take it to your customers, you get their feedback, and you go back and improve it, and you go back again, and then you repeat that process. And that's what makes a great product or a service at the end of the day, where the customer is plugged in at all the times in your product life cycle.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you bring in, because the whole concept of DevOps is so integrated into the digital transformation of a company, right? And understanding and moving away from the fact that a product is going to be perfect. There is no perfect product that exists nowadays. It's about what works, and there's continuous innovation that's happening, continuous updates that are happening, continuous service releases that are happening, that take the whole concept of digital transformation and maps it to a journey as opposed to an event.
Yeah, absolutely. And DevOps does play a big role in innovation and product lifecycle for sure.
So COVID times, they have forced us and everybody actually to start thinking about how businesses work in a very different way. What are some of the ways in which businesses will evolve after this pandemic, Fawad? And I know you keep sharing your thoughts on social media around it, but I wanted to bring it into the podcast for the benefit of our audience.
Great question, Resham, and it is affecting all of us. And as soon as you said COVID, I took a big sigh, but I don't know if you heard me or not. Things are changing. Look, not all is gloom and doom, but let's talk about it a little bit. There is a silver lining to it too. One of the biggest effects it's going to have, especially around digital transformation, is that, first of all, IT budgets are going to get cut. And that's the reality. Gartner is predicting around 8% drop in spend for IT organizations. I was looking at another IT spend forecast by IDC. They're saying 5.1% drop. So what that does is that the IT departments that were responsible for evaluating technologies, digital technologies, and then adopting, doing proof of concepts and all that are going to have very tight belts for their budgets. But one interesting thing that has happened is that although IT budgets are getting cut, it doesn't mean it's getting cut across all the areas of spend within an IT department. Cloud adoption is going really up in most of the IT organizations, and the cloud adoption and usage is going to continue to go. Because if you think about it, there are two basic things that most of us are using. One is email, and the other is video conferencing. And even in this call, Resham, you and I are talking over Zoom here. So these are all cloud services. Email is a cloud SaaS service that everybody uses. This is without even thinking, we use email to communicate with each other. And then video conferencing has become very common as we have been working remotely. We have example of Zoom that has skyrocketed as one of the top companies in providing video conferencing. I was looking at some numbers. They were saying 300 million active users back in April. Then Microsoft Teams is another example. They were saying that back in April, they had 75 million daily active users. So we have gone into this mode of...
Wow, that's a huge number.
Yeah, it is huge, and it was very interesting to see these numbers. But think about it. If we didn't have cloud services, we didn't have email, or if we didn't have video conferencing, we would not be able to do our job effectively, at least in the IT industry and the software industry.
Oh yeah, it would have been a business continuity issue for so many businesses, right? Not just IT.
Absolutely.
Talk about fintech, talk about insurance claims, talk about the supply chain industry. I actually think cloud saved us during this pandemic in a big way.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to call out, we talked about email and video conferencing. How about all those SaaS or software as a service applications that we use? Like we talk about Dynamics 365 or Salesforce. These are all those business applications that companies and organizations have used to run their business. They might be using either a CRM service, or they might be using an ERP service from either Microsoft or from Salesforce. And all these are cloud-based products and software that is being used. If we did not have it available in the cloud, it will not be possible for us to conduct and continue to conduct our business, even though we have gone into this socially distanced paradigm and are working remotely at this time. So there are this simple SaaS-related ERP and CRM software that is helping us. Then we also have mission-critical applications that are deployed in the cloud that a lot of companies are using.
Yeah, if nothing, COVID has accelerated, it has fast-tracked the journey to digital transformation for many, many companies who were thinking that they had some more time to get on the digital transformation train. They've now realized that they can't wait any longer. So
yeah, absolutely. So when I was telling you about that number from IDC is forecasting 5.1% cut in budgets, IT budgets in 2020, but they did call out that cloud computing adoption and usage is going to go up. And they are also saying that infrastructure spend by organization is also going to go up, because all the companies now want to make sure they can sustain their remote workforce that are basically working remotely right now. I do want to talk about real quick, Resham, about the silver lining that I called out. I think this is a perfect opportunities for companies to redefine their niche and basically take a hard look at their business models. Is there an opportunity for them to go and offer some niche products and services or experiences, digital experiences that will help their customers be more efficient and effective and productive as they work remotely? So I see this as an opportunity for some companies to go and redefine their business models and look at some digital experiences they can build for their potential and current customers.
Absolutely. Like if you look at Automation Anywhere, we moved very quickly into a cloud model to support our customers' automation needs. Look at Zoom. They saw an opportunity in this adversity and brought out the whole new concept of communication as a service, where they provide you the whole set to be able to set up a communication platform for yourself in your home offices so that you can communicate with your teams. So definitely, definitely some new solutions coming out of this COVID, and there will be the new way of how business is done in the coming years.
Absolutely. I don't want to come across as a pessimist, but I don't think that we are going back to our offices in the near future. This might drag on for another year, or for another year, and it might be till next summer that we are probably back in our offices. But I think it's a great opportunity to go and redefine your products and services and cater to this new remote workforce.
I'm actually looking forward to a lot of innovation coming out of it. We have already seen some. We're going to see a lot more, I think. And if you start talking about this topic, we could go on and on. But but thank you so much. I always enjoy our conversations, Fawad, and thank you so much for being on the show today, and thank you for sharing your insight.
Thank you so much, Resham. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and we'll continue to connect on LinkedIn and Twitter as always.
Awesome. And today's resource for you, my dear audience, is the link to the eWOW Incubator program. The link is in the show notes below. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for loving, liking, supporting, and sharing the podcast. Remember, sharing is caring. I love your feedback, emails, and messages, so please keep them coming. Look forward to seeing you again in our next podcast. Till then, keep empowering the world.